rest of the week. Keep us safe. Protect all of our law enforcement, our firefighters. And dear Lord, we just ask that you continue to be with us. That's my holy name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So Chair Bagby is out of town this evening, so I'll be sitting in for him. And I need to have an approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Elrod, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Wallace, Vice Chair Waters, we need to make one adjustment to the agenda.
That's right.
We are moving item number 1 under resolutions to, I believe, item number 4 under new business. So with that change, there would need to be a motion to approve.
Okay.
Yes. Make a motion to approve with that change.
Second.
Okay. Ms. Elrod, call the roll.
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
Commissioner Maxey?
Yes.
Commissioner Hancock?
Yes.
Vice Chair Waters?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. As for public participation tonight, all right, and so the way this works, most of you know, you have 3 minutes each to speak, and when you come to the podium, please give us your name and your address. The timer is on the screen, and we'll stop you at 3 minutes. So first name on the list is Mary Evans.
Mary Evans, Floyd County. First of all, I would like to thank you for your service, and I would like to state that my understanding is that this commission is designed to be of service to we the people. I'm aware that most of you undoubtedly believe in the efficacy of protection these facial coverings provide you, despite numerous studies indicating otherwise. In accordance with the Open Meetings Act, and out of respect for those of us who show up to these meetings, we have a right to not only hear, but to understand what you are saying. The muffling of your voices due to the mask and the lack of respect that I perceive many of you demonstrate by not speaking directly into the microphone is quite angering to me, and I've observed it for every meeting I've attended and observing it when y'all are in there in the caucus. As it appears, you guys are social conditioning, distancing, and yet you continue to wear these masks, which appears to me to be nothing more than virtue signaling. I respect your God-given right and choice to wear them. However, it would be greatly appreciated if you would lower them when speaking so that you can be heard and understand. And I would also like to go on the record as saying that I support our rights to exercise SB 202. I believe, like many others, that our election was corrupted. I am showing up to these meetings to do my part to save our country, our children, and our freedoms that are rapidly being stripped from we the people. And I yield my remaining time to any of my fellow patriots. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Evans. The next item on the list, or next individual on the list is Terry Wright.
First off, for the record, we've never been disrespectful to this board or anyone in the audience, and we deserve an apology from this board.
Ms.
No
Wright.
one has
Miss
spoken.
Wright?
truth. Yes?
Miss Wright, I'm sorry. Will you give your name and address?
Oh, I'm sorry.
And
I
I'm
will
sorry,
start
we
all the
can't.
way over if we can then.
That's all right. We can't hear you, though.
You can?
You need to speak directly and very close to the microphone.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. We'll start all the way over then. Terry Wright, Cave Spring, Georgia. First off, for the record, we have never been disrespectful to this board or anyone in the audience, and we deserve an apology from this board. No one who has spoken truth or concerns before you in your capacity should have been dressed down in the fashion that you chose to do so. I'll start with a Rome News quote of our election chair. Quote, "The board is currently nonpartisan and hopes to keep it that way." A few words from their attorney, Winston Denmark. Voluminous, benign mistakes, cover up, unintentional. And Chair Bagby's words, sound?
There's a lot of merit in that too. They're our election board, and we try to support that and everything else all we can.
In other words, if you could not hear that, they are our election board, and we plan to support them. Those were Chair Bagby's words. This is not nonpartisan. This is not unintentional. This is not a benign mistake. This is intentional. This is unethical. And this is a violation of oath. That was brought to your attention on December 22nd, and you did nothing. You had an obligation to the citizens of this county to alert the court that gave that oath. Instead of integrity of our elections, you took care of your board. You supported the board. Georgia Code 22-2-33.2C1 would prevent the revisiting of SB 202 performance review because the county will sufficiently remedy violations. And you did not make that clear to people last time when you voted on this. With your peer review, you will support and take care of your board. Instead
Ms.
of
Wright, your time
transparency-
is up, but we interrupted you in the beginning, so why don't you take 30 more seconds?
Okay, and if I needed the remainder of what was left, instead of transparency, you are leading the citizens of this county to see the appearance of cover-up in your decisions and actions. Otherwise, why did you refuse to comment to an outside journalist, every one of you? What do you have to hide? I've never gotten an answer as to what Dominion was doing on December 21st while voting was in progress. A peer review cannot reveal this. Only an expert from the state election
Okay,
board
Ms. Wright, your
will be
time is
able
up.
to
So we'll
provide
move on
that
to the next-
answer. And I'll go ahead, and the time that she yielded, I'm almost done. We don't need only people
You
who
don't
may
yield
be
time.
making the
That's
same
right.
mistakes.
You don't yield time during these.
Each person gets 3 minutes.
You've allowed that in the past.
We do that in the
to set
public, we do that in the
precedents,
public hearings.
And you have allowed that in the past with these particular
Well,
proceedings.
Public hearings we have, not in
And so
public
all I
comment.
want to say is that we don't need just people who may be making the same mistakes. We need an expert from the state election board.
Thank you, Ms. Wright.
To do a real performance review and someone held
Ms. Wright, your time is up.
accountable. Well, we're asking then that in light of all this, that you reverse your decision and request.
Thank you, Ms. Wright. Next up is Sonya Schuler.
My name is Sonya Schuler, and I live in Floyd County, and I have my whole life. And I've came here to
Please
ask...
speak as close to the microphone as you can.
I have came to ask questions, because I have questions for the commissioners. I would like to know, why aren't any of the commissioners speaking out on our behalf about the Dominion machines being able to flip votes? I would also like to know if any of y'all have stood up and called for a forensic audit to help put the trust back into our elections. And I'd like to know who is trying to clean up our voter rolls when we have got copies of the voter rolls. People that don't live in this county, and some of them have never lived here, are on our voter rolls that voted. And I'd also want to know if it's our tax dollars that's paying for the attorneys that's representing the election board. Because if so, our tax dollars need to pay for us, we the people, for an attorney to represent us, for our rights, and how our local government is not protecting us. They're not doing what we the people want. And I'd like to know exactly if our elected officials, what they're doing that's benefiting we the people. And also, what's our elected officials doing that's only benefiting them? And I'd like to say, that over there is not nonpartisan. Those pictures right there, that's not unintentional. That is a violation of oath, and it's intentional. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Schuler. Next is Angela. Oops, let me get my glasses up. Angela Rubino.
Angela Rubino, Floyd County. To be clear, this is not personal, it is about integrity. First, I would like to address Rome Tribune. I would like to know why you are not informing the public that the people of Floyd County are very concerned with what has happened and what continues to happen here, not just the GOP members or Mr. Kelly. I'll ask the board now, is this what you are protecting, these actions that are clearly a violation of oath? In regards to the last meeting, a previous speaker claimed, and I quote, "Don't understand what they are seeing." Let me refresh. An ex-Dominion worker on the poll pads. What I see clearly is that the gentleman is on a poll pad by himself. No one's supervising. Again, I ask why. Quite frankly, to assume that I don't understand leads me to the same conclusion after seeing the letters submitted by Mr. Swanson. Clearly, no one, not even the board, understands elections. Now I ask, why do the taxpayers now need to bear the expense of this gentleman when the said election clerk was given an increase of $20,000 to fulfill those job requirements? I also ask, are the taxpayers to absorb the cost for the election board member's lawyer? And if so, we the people would like one as well for the potential crimes committed. The cost of SB 202 is always brought up, another expense absorbed by we the people. So why are you deciding where to spend our money? I'm curious to ask if you, the board, agree with the election board member's lawyer, and I quote, "A lot of times we like to demonize them." I lost my spot. This is in regards to we the people. I would sure hope not, being that you were all elected for your seats. Maybe you all can clarify what was demonizing about us. See, my Italian grandmother would always say, "Il lupo perde il pelo, ma non il vizio," which translates to a wolf will lose his fur, but not his vices. It is time to remove the entire board. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rubino. Next on the list is Edward Disney.
is Edward Disney. I live at 5 Greenbrier Lane here in Rome. Again, I want to thank you for your hard work and dedication on behalf of the citizens of Floyd County. I am a moderate independent. I also want to show my support of a performance review of the election board handled by election officials from local counties. Yes, there are issues that need to be addressed, but I do not think they are malicious or intentional. I feel that local issues need to be handled on the local level, not by state bureaucrats from Atlanta looking over our shoulder and telling us what to do. I also want to comment on the divisiveness from both sides of the political spectrum. Democracy is compromise, not war. Just because we disagree, we are not enemies. It's time to take off the gloves and agree that it's okay to disagree. It's time to acknowledge each other's concerns about the different issues facing our county and come together to find solutions to these issues that we can agree upon. Because of my Christian beliefs, I believe that there is a common ground, and that is what we should strive for. There are always going to be those who believe in my way or no way. This doesn't work. It just further divides us and sometimes can lead to unforeseen and unintentional consequences that no one is happy with. If one is not willing to compromise, they need to step aside, pick up their ball, and go home. That those of us who are willing to work together find acceptable solutions to the issues that we, the citizens of Floyd County, face today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Disney. Next up is Michael Morgan.
Can everybody hear me okay? First, I'd like to thank you all for your time. I know that you guys don't do this for the money. This is a service to your community, and it's appreciated. I have 6 bullets I'd like to bring up. The first one is the last meeting I had asked for a verification that the bylaws for this governing body were ratified, and I have not received any verification of that.
Can you leave us your email, your contact?
I gave it to Mr.
Okay.
McCord 2 weeks ago. So unless we can show that these bylaws were ratified by the people, then they're null and void. Every action or motion taken by this body, okay, has no merit. Just like our United States Constitution had no merit until it was ratified by all the states, okay? So the second, I believe it was Chairman Bagby, who spoke that there was no conflict of interest between the Board of Elections and the Board of Commissioners. Well, then why does the Board of Commissioners have an election committee that is filled by 2 people and brings in a high-powered attorney out of Atlanta to represent the Board of Elections? That seems to me as a conflict of interest. Okay, the resolution that you're proposing tonight to change the BOE from 3 persons to 5, that is proposing a solution before the faults and discrepancies are clearly defined, right? So you're putting the cart in front of the horse. We're also developing for the Board of Commissioners, as well as every other elected official in the County of Floyd, a job qualification standard, one which will include a master training plan, individual training records for each individual seat, Those standards will be used to measure performance, just like the Department of Health measures the performance of a restaurant and posts their report card on the window for the public to see. You guys and ladies, I'd like to invite all of you to participate in that process if you so choose. And the more collaborative effort we have on that, the better product we will have available to measure the effectiveness of our elected officials. And also, I'm going to be submitting to the county clerk a affidavit of fact regarding my personal experience at the polling station in Alto Park last November. So it'll become a formal matter of record at that point. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Morgan. And next is Vicki Sutton.
My name is Vicki Sutton. I live out on Little Texas Valley Road in Armurchie. I am not a public speaker. I am nervous about doing this. I don't know why, but I am. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I voted, first of all, these pictures right here, this is why people lose trust in the vote. They don't want to come out and vote because they feel like, well, it may not count because of stuff like this on social media. It's unacceptable. But I voted in person on October the 13th at the church out here in Rome. My vote never made it to the count. I called on November the 6th, Secretary of State's office. No, ma'am, we're showing that you didn't vote. I called our local elections office, and I was told that morning that my vote was upstairs to be keyed in. I didn't understand that because I voted in person. I didn't have any problems. But anyway, my vote never made it to the count. I called Monday morning to the local election office, and they told me that my vote did count and that it would show up as hadn't counted for the Secretary of State and myself to see when our state was certified. Our state was certified twice. My vote never showed up. If it was in the 2,700 ballots that were found, I can't read QR code. If it was in there, I don't know. If it wasn't in there, my ballot's still missing. We did not vote for high school student council. We voted for the highest office in the world. And as far as I know, born here in America, my vote didn't count. I'm disgusted. I have called everyone that I could. I've constantly been emailing, trying to get people to understand. I do not like Dominion. I don't trust it. It isn't paper ballots. There's so many steps. You got to do this at this computer. You got to do this at the poll pad. You got to do this. You got to print it out. You got to take the scanner. I don't like that. I do not like the adjudication process. I think it goes against the Georgia Constitution. I think it goes against the United States Constitution, and that the voter is not present when a brand new ballot's pulled up and a poll worker can pick out who they believe the voter meant to vote for. I don't like Dominion. I'm working to get rid of Dominion. And again, this right here is not, this lacks integrity. This breaks people's trust. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sutton. And that wraps up our public participation for this meeting. We'll move on into approval of minutes. Are the minutes in order?
Virginia.
Ms. Harmon, are the minutes in order?
Yes, Commissioner, the minutes are in order.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve. Second.
All right. Ms. Elrod, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
Commissioner Maxey?
Yes.
Commissioner Hancock?
Yes.
Vice Chair Waters?
Yes.
Motion carries.
We don't have any special recognition this evening, but we do have one proclamation for Retired Educators Day, and Commissioner Wallace is going to read that. I believe we've got some folks here to join us for that.
Get right here so he can hold on. good right there. That's perfect, perfect. Okay, we're going to read the proclamation. It's from the city of Rome and Floyd County. Whereas the governor of the state of Georgia has proclaimed the day of Sunday, November the 7th, 2021, as Retired Educators Day in Georgia. And whereas more than 140,000 retired educators have devoted their time, energies, and talents to public education, providing the educational development of millions of outstanding Georgia citizens. And whereas retired educators possess valuable knowledge and use their lifetime experiences and skills to enrich the educational process in a variety of settings, often they continue to be a major source of insight and direction for our state and our nation. Many return as classroom assistants or substitute teachers, while many serve on local boards of education. And whereas it is appropriate that a day be designated for citizens to express their appreciation for the contributions that retired educators have made and continue to make the better of human lives and society in general. And now therefore be it resolved that the Rome City Commission and the Floyd County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim Sunday, November the 7th, 2021, as Retired Educators Day, and call upon all the citizens of Rome and Floyd County to observe that day in an appropriate manner, honoring retired educators. It's signed by our Mayor, Craig McDaniel, and our Chair, Wright Bagby. Ms. King, Ms. Herron.
I know that you have a very full agenda this evening, so on behalf of the 251 members of the local Retired Educators Association, I would just like to say thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul, so much. Tonight we have one first reading. Mr. McCord, can you walk us through that?
Yes, item 1 is adopt amendment to Floyd County Code of Ordinances 2-17 in regards to parking. This is changing our parking enforcement at our courthouse and our forum parking spaces from the county clerk's office to Floyd County PD, and they will be a second reading at our next meeting.
Thank you. We will add that to our first reading. And then second reading, we have 5. And I'll ask, it looks like Bryce is going to be the one to read through our items. Just know that for each of these items, we will open a public hearing after each reading, and that public hearing will offer those in favor and those in opposition to speak. Each side will have a total of 10 minutes, so use your time wisely. And Mr. Woods, if you want to go ahead and let us know what this first reading is.
Yes, ma'am. The first reading is Z21-10-15, which requests rezoning from suburban residential to light industrial for the properties located at 0 and 0 Orberg Road, Rome, Georgia, 30165, Floyd County tax parcels F13Y208 and F13Y207, applicant owner 33HSS 4685 LLC / Beers Housing Incorporated. This is a map of the two parcels. They're outlined in red. This is almost at the corner of Orberg Road and Alabama Highway. These are currently undeveloped. As you can see from the picture, there's the zoning map. They are surrounded by an existing storage unit development. There are multiple other properties in the area that actually should be zoned light industrial. The light industrial that exists, that is properly zoned, is colored purple. The top picture is looking up Orberg Road from Alabama Highway. The next two pictures are looking into the two parcels. The request is to rezone these to allow for boat and RV storage. This would be part of the existing storage unit development that's already there. This is the application. A survey of the two parcels. Both a little over ½ acre in size. We did receive a couple of letters of opposition. This one is from the most directly affected neighbor to the adjacent south. He was originally under the impression that they were trying to rezone his property as well, and I had to explain to him that that's not possible, that you can't rezone property you don't own. This was another email received. I believe this person is across the street. And one of the other neighbors, who is 2 or 3 houses down, I believe. This does come with a recommendation of approval from staff with conditions. The conditions being that any and all lighting would be downward and inward facing so as not to illuminate the adjacent parcels, and to require a buffer, there is a required buffer between the development and residential. We would like for that to be 6 feet in height at the time of planting and of evergreen nature, so that it doesn't lose its leaves in the wintertime. This also comes with a 7-0 approval from the Planning Commission.
Thank you, Bryce. We will open the public hearing now, and for anyone here to speak in favor of this zoning change. Okay, anyone here to speak in opposition? Okay, why don't you come up to the podium? And be sure to give us your name and your address.
Hi, my name is Paris. My address is 608 Malden Drive. Super short and simple. I do work with both 33 Holdings as well as Beers Housing. We're really excited to be doing a couple of different developments here in Rome, and we're really hoping that this can be something in addition that we might be able to bring. Short and simple.
Thank you. Anyone else to speak in favor? Okay, anyone here to speak in opposition? Okay, hearing none, we will close the public hearing. And I'll ask Commissioner Maxey for a motion.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we approve with the exceptions, with the stipulations you had.
Second?
Ms. Elrod, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
Commissioner Maxey?
Yes.
Commissioner Hancock?
Yes.
Vice Chair Waters?
Yes.
Motion carries.
The next request is Z21-10-12, which requests rezoning from light industrial to suburban residential for the property located at 0 Huff Acre Road, Rome, Georgia, 30165, Floyd County tax parcel G12Y014. Applicant owner Jeff Grant. This is the property outlined in red. It's approximately 22 acres in size. The property owner also owns the property to the south. Between the two properties, you have over 150 acres. A couple months ago, y'all rezoned that property to the south to suburban residential. This would allow that to be added to it. To leave it light industrial, it actually creates a buffer problem along the longest property line to the south. That would limit the potential development as a light industrial project. This does come with a recommendation of approval from staff as well as the 6-0 approval from the Planning Commission. There's the map. As you can see, we had not updated it yet. We update it every couple months. So the property to the south is currently zoned suburban residential. That is looking into the property. The first picture is looking further down Huff Acre Road, and the next picture is looking back towards the city of Rome, and the third picture is looking directly across the street. Thank you.
Thank you, Bryce. We will open the public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this zoning change?
My name's Ward White. I'm with Southern Consulting Services. We started off, as Bryce mentioned, with a larger tract just to the south, adjacent to this tract we're requesting be rezoned. We had that rezoned from heavy industrial down to residential. We agreed with the request that that would be a better fit for the community. We appreciate your support in helping us get that done. Our engineer here in Rome, Chuck Harden, brought to our attention that with this addition to the north, we'll be able to actually add 2 entrances and exits, which would be better off for fire and safety. It'll also help us with the overall design and the engineering of the site itself. Chuck's been an amazing member of our team, and we just think very highly of him. So it didn't require any thought on our side. If Chuck was under the impression that it would benefit the site, we're all for it. So we're hoping that we can get your support and downzone it from light industrial to residential, make a better project. Thank you.
Is there anyone else to speak in favor? Okay, is there anyone here to speak in opposition of this change? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing, and I'll ask Commissioner Maxey for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All right, Ms. Elrod, please call the roll.
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
Commissioner Maxey?
Yes.
Commissioner Hancock?
Yes.
Vice Chair Waters?
Yes.
Motion carries.
The next request is Z21-10-13, which would request rezoning from agricultural residential to heavy industrial for the property located at 0 Turkey Mountain Road, Rome, Georgia, 30165, Floyd County tax parcel K09X028. Applicant owner, I'm guessing that's RCAT LLC. This is the property outlined in red. As you can see, it's incredibly slender. At the road, it's only about 30 feet wide. At its widest point, it's only about 66 feet wide. It has virtually 0 uses industrial by itself, but it's actually owned by the same people that own the property adjacent to it, which is one of our older industrial developments. That development at some point has encroached over onto this property via a driveway and possibly some storage. And the request is to rezone it to match. I believe Hardy Realty has either a tenant or proposed buyer who's interested in the property. This is what the zoning map currently looks like. There's also an abundance of floodplain in the area that does not actually touch this property. This is an overhead aerial view provided by the applicants. This is looking into the property. You can see the driveway that goes back beside the existing building. The second picture is looking back towards our Murchie on Turkey Mountain Road. Third picture is looking towards Highway 53, and then you've got a better view of the existing building and a more zoomed in version of or picture of the alleyway or driveway. This does come with a recommendation of approval from staff as well as the Planning Commission, 6-0.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. We will call the public hearing open. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this zoning change? Mr. Byers?
Jimmy Byers, 19 Rock Ridge Road. I represent the owners on this parcel. As Bryce noted, the building's been there 30 years. It's always sort of been on both parcels, and we discovered it when the owner wanted to sell and lease it. When we did the zoning, we realized that part of that small sliver that he owns has got part of the building on it, and it was not rezoned when the ULDC went into effect many years ago. So we'd just like this cleaned up so that he can get it leased and sold.
Thank you. Is there anyone else to speak in favor? Anyone here to speak in opposition of this change? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing, and I'll ask Commissioner Maxey to bring us a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Ms. Elrod, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
Commissioner Maxey?
Yes.
Commissioner Hancock?
Yes.
Vice Chair Waters?
Yes.
Motion carries.
The next request is SUP 21-10-01, which requests a special use permit for, in this case, climate-controlled storage units for the property located at 4111 Martha Berry Highway, Rome, Georgia, 30165, Floyd County tax parcel J11X199, zone community commercial, applicant Brian Spears, owner Clint Hubbard. This is the parcel outlined in red. It's the old Fred's building, which has been vacant for some time. The request is to convert that into climate-controlled storage units. This is the current zoning map. The property is zoned community commercial, which allows for that with a special use permit. We did hear from multiple neighbors. They had concerns about what else community commercial allows for, which is actually, I think, the longest list within the ULDC. As a matter of fact, I'm sure of it. They were worried that it might wind up being some sort of convenience store, nightclub, something that would cause further detriment to the neighborhood. So they were okay with it. I don't want to say supportive, but they were okay. This does come with a recommendation of approval with a condition from staff, that condition being that the development is limited to the existing building. We wanted to maintain the storefront aesthetic. This also comes with a 6-0 approval from the Planning Commission. This is a picture of how it currently looks. I did not realize my truck was blocking the building when I took that second one. The third is looking north on Martha Berry Highway. The second one is looking south on Martha Berry with the entrance to the neighborhood. That is just the application. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. We'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this change?
Spears. I live at 8 Barcrest Drive, and I am proposing, like Bryce said, just to take this existing building, build out the inside into climate-controlled storage units. Not making any exterior changes other than adding additional siding and some cleanup, but I understand that I'll be doing nothing outside as far as it'll continue to look basically like it does today.
Anyone else here to speak in favor? Is anyone here to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing, and I'll ask Commissioner Maxey for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve with the conditions that were listed by the planning staff.
Second.
Ms. Elrod, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
Commissioner Maxey?
Yes.
Commissioner Hancock?
Yes.
Vice Chair Waters?
Yes.
Motion carries.
And the last request for tonight is Z21-10-14, which requests rezoning from suburban residential to heavy industrial for the property located at 4441 Adairsville Road, Adairsville, Georgia, 30103. Floyd County tax parcel N09082, applicant owner Bill Pelfrey and Charles Wayne Baxter. This is the property outlined in red. As you can see, we're on Adairsville Highway, or Adairsville Road, which is also Highway 140. We're almost at the intersection with Prosperity Way, which leads to the Lowe's Distribution Center. This is the current zoning map. As you can see, there is a heavy industrial parcel to the immediate west. Because of the buffer requirements, when heavy industrial is next to suburban residential, it makes that property virtually worthless, almost. This would expand that. It also allows for a potential land swap with the Industrial Development Authority. The picture on the bottom is looking into the property from the highway. The next picture is looking east towards Adairsville on Highway 140. The next picture, the middle picture is looking towards Highway 53, and the third picture is looking directly across Highway 140. This is the application. And this does come with a recommendation of approval from staff and a 6-0 approval from the Planning Commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. We'll call the public hearing open. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this change? Anyone here to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing, and I'll ask Commissioner Maxey for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Elrod, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
Commissioner Maxey?
Yes.
Commissioner Hancock?
Yes.
Vice Chair Waters?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. I have nothing under Chairman's report. Does any commissioner have a report of anything on their committees? Mr. McCord, do you have anything this evening?
No report.
Ms. Harmon, do you have anything this evening?
No report, Madam Chairman.
The consent agenda, Ms. Elrod, is the consent agenda in order?
Yes, it is, Madam Vice Chair.
All right, I'll ask for a motion.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Ms. Elrod, please call the roll.
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
Commissioner Maxey?
Yes.
Commissioner Hancock?
Yes.
Vice Chair Waters?
Yes.
Motion carries.
We don't have any old business this evening, but we do have 4 items in new business. Mr. McCord, I'll turn that over to you.
Yes, item 1 is consider recommendation from purchasing to approve a 5-year annual renewal contract with providing and managing inmate telephone communication system for the Floyd County Jail, Prison, and Work Release with IC Solutions, who is current contract holder. Total of $985,000 will be received annually beginning January of 2022. And I think the split is 35% for vendor and 65% for Floyd County. And this is a recommendation to approve.
You've heard the information from our county manager. Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Elrod, please call the roll.
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
Commissioner Maxey?
Yes.
Commissioner Hancock?
Yes.
Vice Chair Waters?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 2 is consideration of intergovernmental agreement between City of Rome, Floyd County, and Rome Floyd Development Authority for purchase of the Northwest Georgia Regional Hospital site from the state of Georgia. And this is a recommendation to approve. It was also approved last night by Rome City Commission.
You've heard the recommendation from the county manager. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Elrod, please call the roll.
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
Commissioner Maxey?
Yes.
Commissioner Hancock?
Yes.
Vice Chair Waters?
Yes.
Motion carries.
In item 3, we have a recommendation to approve a new Assistant Public Works Director, Ben Brooks, who comes to, he's actually a local Floyd County resident. He's educated here at Armurchie and also with Southern Poly or Kennesaw now. Has a degree in civil engineering. Worked with C.W. Matthews for the last 6 years and about 2 years with Archer Weston as a consultant. So it's a good hire for us and strengthening the management team down at Public Works. His annual salary will be $80,000 per year per contract, and this is a recommendation to approve, and we look forward to having Ben on board, if you approve tonight, on November the 15th.
You've heard the recommendation from the county manager. Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Elrod, please call the roll.
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
Commissioner Maxey?
Yes.
Commissioner Hancock?
Yes.
Vice Chair Waters?
Yes.
Motion carries.
And Ms. Harmon, you want to do item 4 for us?
I certainly can, Mr. McCord. Item 4 was to consider possible approval of some proposed local legislation that was discussed at the last meeting that would increase the number of members of our Board of Elections and Registration from 3 to 5 members. That is the range of membership that is authorized under the Georgia statute related to creation of boards of election and registration. So we would be going from the minimum number to the maximum number. That's fairly consistent with most counties our size, would be to have a 5-member board, and obviously the commission has felt like it would give some relief to the members of the Board of Elections and Registration and bring some additional resources there. So I have just a little history. Our Board of Elections and Registration was created back in the 90s by act of the Georgia General Assembly. It's been amended one time, and that amendment was just to create staggered terms in 2008. When the board was originally created, all members came on and off at the same time, and continuity seemed to be lacking, so that one amendment was made in 2008. That was also by cooperation with our local legislators and was done through an amendment to our local legislation. So I, consistent with the matters that were discussed at the last meeting, have drafted a proposed request to amend our local legislation that would do 2 very simple things. The first is create 2 more spots on our board, increasing our board, as I said, from 3 to 5 members. The only difference in addition to that would be to explain how that those 2 new memberships would work in the rotation of the staggered terms. Since we have staggered terms now with a class of 2 members that came on 2 years ago, and Mr. Townsend, who came on last January. I've simply added a new class of 2 members that would come on in January of 2022. So they would remain staggered terms with those 2 members being a new class. And that's it. I kept it as simple and straightforward as I could, consistent with the instructions that I had. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that the commission would have. But it is, as like I said, it's as simple and straightforward as I could keep it.
You've heard the information from our county attorney. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Elrod, please call the roll.
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
Commissioner Maxey?
Yes.
Commissioner Hancock?
Yes.
Vice Chair Waters?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Is there any other business to come before the board? I would like to share that we did go into executive session during caucus to discuss property. No action was taken. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Ms. Elrod, please call the roll.
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes, but go Braves.
Commissioner Maxey?
Yes.
Commissioner Hancock?
Yes.
Vice Chair Waters?
Yes.
Motion carries.